And I know the audio is working because it shows when you guys talk already. I should have caught that last week. All right, I think we're live here, and welcome to the Juices Loose podcast. This is week 2 with the new format using OBS, but this time we're going Discord for audio instead of Hangouts, and it already seems to be better for Clocked It because your mic quality seems to be quite a bit better. So yeah, so this is like I said, this second week of basically we're preparing for Hangouts Live to disappear. So I'm using OBS. I got the Discord up, so we got 40 some members now. So if you're watching this and you didn't sign up, but don't click it if you don't plan on ever contributing to the conversation. If you don't think you're going to use it, don't worry about it. But if you're looking for a place to chat, I broke it up into gaming, movies, and TV. Now we have a general discussion. We have Mario Maker 2 for posting levels. I have a Rocket League and Smash. Then a game invites, PC Master Race, and then movies and TV. I have general movie discussion and TV show discussion.
If you have that's what Robert is.
Yeah, that's where I see most of Robert's joining contribution.
I did it too already.
So you can see it's really small. I was trying to find a way to like make this channel of the voice channel like be a full its own window, and I don't know if it's possible or not. You can see when people are talking. I can see when it highlights who's talking, but for you guys, it's going to be kind of small. So I'm going to have to look into that each week.
Jane Bond up there. Look, Jane Bond.
Yep, Jane Bond. That's not really what they're going to call her, is it?
No, I don't know what they call her.
So
Wait,
I
That's
sure
real?
should have a different name.
apparently, I didn't look into it. It's a female James Bond, or a female 007. Daniel Craig's still James Bond, but they're going to have a female that makes it to the 007 status. That's going to potentially either be a spin-off to the way it's going to go, or it's just going to be a one-time deal if it don't work out.
It's time to petition and riot.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's not going to work out.
But, I mean, I think 007's gotten so stale lately, I don't even care, at this point. It's been, for me, the last, 3 Bond movies, 4.
Why would a woman want to be a 00?
Especially with this current strategy they've been on, where it's just like, first they want to make it super realistic, and then they try to blend in the old Bond, the ladies' man type of stuff, and it was just like you can't do both. It doesn't work.
Ever since they added Daniel Craig, I didn't like it. He's not a bad actor, but he's not a fucking James Bond.
I thought he was okay.
Really...
Casino Royale was.
I like Casino Royale a lot.
I thought that was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
I don't know about a great Bond movie, but I thought it was a good movie.
No, I love Casino Royale. It's probably my second favorite Bond after GoldenEye.
Yeah, it was directed by GoldenEye.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the same director, so it makes a lot of sense. But that's guy also went on and made Green Lantern, though. So.
And
I don't think it was it's not Daniel Craig's issue mostly. I think it's just bad writing, bad script.
No.
Trying to continue some
I
crap
blame Daniel
storyline
Craig.
throughout all these films. No, I like Daniel Craig, man. He's cool.
I blame him because I think his head's really far up his ass. he really.
He just doesn't look like a Bond to me. That was my problem always. Because I like him as an actor, especially in the Golden Compass. He was amazing, I thought. He's just not a fucking Bond.
welcome to the movie podcast.
He's a fine
That time Robert is not there.
And Terrell's not here to say what I just said.
Cut this shit.
So anyway, we'll get into the big topic, Nintendo Switch Lite. Obviously, we can't ignore that.
Can we please?
And we'll get some the Discords where the questions are going to be, and so we got a few questions from last week, and then from the last week, building up. People have asked some questions. There's only a few, but again, I'd almost rather have less questions that we can give more in-depth answers to than just a bunch of questions, because it's hard to I don't want to just like rush through. Especially if someone's asking about Breath of the Wild sequel and ideas for that and stuff. Like that could be its own podcast, really.
Seriously, maybe we should do that.
But yeah, other than Nintendo Switch Lite, no games really came out. We got some games coming out this week with Marvel's Ultimate Alliance, and then Fire Emblem. I can't remember the Fire Emblem date. Is it 20?
That's Friday, isn't it? 26, isn't it?
Something like that. Yeah. So it's been for me. I don't. Once Mario Maker came out, I've been good. I haven't even been thinking about other games to the point where I barely played Rocket League since it came out. So I'm not like itching for anything new. But I know Terrell was looking to pick up Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Anybody else here?
Yep.
T.
Yeah.
Robert.
I think I'll get it. Obviously not straight away, but it's definitely I will get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick
Same
up
for me. I
Marvel.
definitely want it. I ain't getting that on launch.
Oh wow. I mean, it does look like the better Avengers type movie or game versus the Square Enix one. So
You know what sold me on that game is in the treehouse where you saw there was a lot of cutscenes in the game, so it's not just some random cheap like Travis Strikes Again bullshit, Like the
Yikes.
gameplay is like nice co-op gameplay. You have a lot of characters, but the fact that they have so many cutscenes and story into it, I'm like, yeah, I need that.
It actually, what sold me was actually I didn't realize how many characters were included in the game. There's actually quite a
Like
few
30
characters.
initially or something like that, and then you can unlock more or pay for down or not unlock. Excuse me. The only way you unlock shit these days is paying for it. So,
You have to pay to unlock the characters. What?
or no. There's DLC stuff, but I think you get initially like
Right.
25 to 30 or something characters, which is
Oh,
should
okay,
be
fine.
fine.
I mean, it has
Oh yeah. It's
from
crazy.
what I saw from E3, they have the main ones you'd want. Like
Yeah, the main ones are there.
it's not like
these
they're
are-
holding Wolverine for
I'll
DLC.
be playing as Deadpool, yo. I can't wait for that.
Fucking Captain Marvel. It's like everybody's like all the A team and even some B team characters are there for the most part. I don't. Maybe like from the X-Men, I haven't.
Hawkeye.
From like X-Men, I don't know if is Jean Grey and Cyclops all there from the beginning. I don't know.
I don't think Jean Grey is it. I don't think Jean Grey. Maybe Cyclops, but I don't think Jean Grey is. I could be wrong.
X-Men was one of the DLC thingies.
Yeah, X-Men is part of the DLC, so you might not get a whole lot of X-Men at first.
Yeah, I mean it looks like a fun little beat 'em up style, 4-player style game. That's never been anything I've been super into, but it does look like it looks like a lot better than my first thoughts when they first revealed the game. Like I thought it was the mobile game at first, like porting the mobile game before I realized, oh, that's one. Then I was
I didn't even
reminded.
know there was a mobile game.
Yeah, but it's really simplistic, so it's nothing like this.
I don't know, when you get in quite close to this game, you can actually see the character models actually really nice in the game. I mean, really
Well,
nice.
first time I played
Yeah.
it was on Wii, and I like that game a lot. So I don't know. There's two. There's one. Obviously, there's two. I only played one of them. I think it might have been two. I'm not sure. I have it somewhere. But yeah. So I didn't even know there was a mobile game at all. So I think you said that initially
Mhm.
when they first showed it. You're like, oh, pick a mobile game.
I never actually played any of the Marvel Ultimate Alliances, but I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna play it.
Yes, I honestly
Well,
didn't know
playing
all
this
you guys
game,
were
so-
planning on getting it, so that's cool.
Yeah, man, we like co-op. You don't.
But it's not the.
And I love Dan. Of course, I love my Avengers, yo.
You won't be getting that soundtrack in there, so just let it go.
Did you go
Of course, I
see
love
Spider-Man? Getting back to movie talk, Robert.
I did. I've seen it twice now.
You know
Yeah.
what? That is the most like money making movie that nobody's talking about. I have heard nobody talk about that movie. I
No.
think that happens with a lot of Spider-Man movies recently. Like nobody talks about. They make money. The last two made it, obviously. But
I remember
What's the
people
difference?
talking about
Nobody talks
how
about it.
bad the Amazing Spider-Man 2 was.
well, yeah. I meant the two recent ones.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't know.
Homecoming and Far From Home.
Yeah, nobody really talked
Far
about
From Home was
Homecoming
really
at all.
good, man. I really enjoyed it.
Uh,
I had fun.
we'll get into that, but like I said, it was. It's weird because this movie's like near $1 billion, I think.
It feels
Worldwide.
like Captain Marvel if it didn't have the controversy, because no one was talking about the actual movie,
I didn't care for Captain Marvel though.
Captain Marvel.
and nobody's talking. I don't know anybody's like, oh yeah, I was going to see Spider-Man. Like I just think Endgame was just too recent.
I just think Disney's too big to fail right now. Like,
Yeah, and you also got Toy Story 4, which also is really damn good in my opinion.
And then even Aladdin's almost at $1 billion. It's sad.
Well, Aladdin
Insane.
I didn't care for that one.
I heard a lot of people really liked it though. They were surprised.
Yeah, I was not surprised. I didn't care for it.
So anyway, back to Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Sliding the movies and shit.
I know Terrell's picking it up, so you guys will do an impressions probably next week. And
Sure.
Otra vez. Is that how you say it?
I've been playing a lot of Dragon Quest Builders too, yo.
yeah,
It's really good.
Yeah, I heard people talking about that game a lot too.
Dude, I tell you what, that it's so weird that game. Like, I got stuck, right, and so I was like, or no, not even that I got stuck, but I was like looking up. I'm like, I don't know about you guys, but I personally like to know how long a game is before I start diving into it. I still like to see like what the length is. I can't find one single thing that's beyond the chapter that I'm on. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, you can't really get the length in a game like that, because it's like it's as long as you make it. Like,
yeah,
you can.
but you have like people that'll have over like how long to beat the website. You see like how long a game is, and normally it'd be there like it. And especially the game's been out in Japan, so maybe I thought maybe some US people would have already played it. Maybe they import it. But like, man, I can't figure out how long the game is still.
Well, I know RGT85 has been playing it. He played it for like 20 hours, and then something happened with his save file and totally screwed it up.
Like right now, I'm like,
so he can't. He says he's like doesn't even want to start over again.
I'm like 15 something hours in, and I'm only on chapter. I guess it's chapter 1, chapter 2. I have no clue.
Yeah, he was
and
like on chapter 2, I think, and 20 hours in.
I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And so, but I found out one thing that I'm like on the end of one of the chapters. I'm like, oh, because I'm thinking like I'm playing this game for a while, and I'm thinking, oh, you know what? I'm just my mind's just going crazy. This takes place in all on this island. It has to. It's been going on for so long. There's no way it doesn't. And apparently, no, there's gonna be more. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm having so much fun with it though that I'm like, damn, like. And automatically, when they revealed it, was like, yeah, this is totally up my alley. You know what I mean? Like, this is totally up my alley with Minecraft, but with the a story comment. And I'm like, damn, this is so addicting. Like, I'll be playing. It'd be like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I'm like, all right, let me stop now. And I'm like, but let me just do this one little thing. And all of a sudden, it's 4 in the morning. All right, let me get off now. Let me check this one little thing. And by the time I know it's like 6:30, I'm like, fuck it. Hell, god damn it. And then I have to get off and go to sleep.
Sucky thing is you were just getting back into Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And
but that doesn't mean I still play at least an hour every day of it.
Do you? Wow, that's impressive.
I'm like
He
said that's
impressive. Terrell, yo. I'm literally I think I'm like 20 hours. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's too much. I think it's 13 hours, it said. Messages. I was just playing it earlier, and I'm like 13 hours in. Chapter 3. I'm like, Jesus.
Are you getting are you just fumbling your way through the combat, or are you actually? Because I know in Xenoblade Chronicles X, you were just like you never really felt like you got it down.
Like good at you know what? I think I'm getting it down because I know in Xenoblade Chronicles X, I mean a lot of how the auto attacks, it's always auto attacking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my brain would always be like, well, maybe I was gonna sound stupid but like I'm like how every time he hits, I'm thinking I have to press a button, and like I think like at the same time, I'm like, well, maybe it does like a stronger attack. I don't know, and I was doing that for a few hours, and then I start realizing I'm like, this isn't making me better at all. And then I stop pressing buttons, letting him, auto attack, and then I start like, well, oh, so I kind of have to more so plan and strategize where I'm at and when I actually do an attack. And you're 13 hours in and they're still doing the tutorials that they're saying, hey, when you have to topple them, and then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then so like she'll throw a I forgot the thing, but then you topple them and then they get down and then they're easier to fight. And I'm like, oh god, I didn't even know this kind of stuff. And so like I definitely have learned more of the game. I feel like in X, I'm surprised I got that far, to be honest. Now I think of it, that I just kept fucking pressing the button. I don't know. It was years ago, but
wow,
ton of fun with Xenoblade also.
I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 sucked me in with the cutscenes, and I know that I'm always the guy who says I don't care about story in games and skip cutscenes, but like I like just the silliness of the dialogue and the humor, and I thought
it's so good.
I think the whole thing also is that like what I've been doing is kind of playing like an hour of Xenoblade, and then I'll go back into Dragon Quest and keep playing that, so it get longer, and so far it's been a nice little balance between the two. But I've been playing again. I went from like 50 minutes to 13 hours. It's pretty good.
It's nice progress.
So Insane Game Freak, sounds like I'm the only one not getting Marvel Ultimate Alliance when that comes out at the end of this week.
You're fucking casual, that's why. I know what the deal is. I already had that bitch preloaded on the Switch.
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah, I'm just waiting until I used the voucher. I used the voucher for Marvel.
So what is it about that game that had you sold?
I think it's a combination of me getting more into Marvel in general, thanks to the movies, on top of the character selection. And I've also
about casual.
Well, no. I've read some of the comics, you piece of shit. I just don't. And look, they got
typical
pictures
Marvel
in them.
fanboy.
They got pictures.
I watched the movies.
I watched pictures. I saw the pictures in the book. They look nice and shit.
And goddamn, fuck that. I watched the movies a ton of times.
yeah, you frauds.
Yeah,
So,
Robert, who's Uncle Ben? You know who Uncle Ben is?
Well, of course I know Uncle Ben.
I'm not talking about the rice either.
Terrell, do you want to give us a quick hands-on impressions of the Senran Kagura game that came out last week?
Nice.
I'll put it this way. I'm very surprised by the HD Rumble. I'm very surprised. That shit,
What?
because the HD Rumble actually simulates you like when you hit a girl, it's supposed to simulate. I'm not. Hey, look, you asked for If you ask for first impressions, that's what you're getting. When you hit a girl, it's supposed to simulate the feeling of hitting like flesh.
That's when he puts the Joy-Con in his balls.
What? No, I gotta get that shit.
I'm gonna be real with you about it.
Retrodesk ordering it right now. He's on Amazon.
Jesus Christ. The HD Rumble was very surprising. I mean, it's a pinball game at the core, so I mean, pinball.
Wait, what does it feel like though?
How does it
actually feel like?
Describe the feeling.
How do you
tell me that hard ass shit is gonna feel like anything other than?
It's the. How do I describe it? I guess it's the way the motors work in conjunction with.
Vibrate.
Like literally, there's no way to like properly describe it. It works better than you would think it does. I'll say that. Like I said, if you like pinball, you'll like it just for that. The only two things is I wouldn't buy it now currently because I don't like the practices that I found out after I had already bought it.
Was it microtransactions?
Uh-oh.
Well, the microtransactions is part of it, but every Senran Kagura game has it. The two main things I don't like is one, it only has like 2 boards. So like
what?
Now there are 2 good boards, but there are only 2 boards. And then there's like night variations of them, but there's no difference. So there's 2 boards. And what was the other thing I didn't care for?
In
Well, a lot of people-
defense of that, I haven't played it yet, but I saw like the trailer. You say the boards seem more intricate than in some games.
Yeah,
and
that's what helps
and,
it a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm like a big fan of pinball games since the Super Nintendo already. And on the Wii, I had like the Zen Pinball, and I had like downloaded some boards of that shit. Most pinball games come with like an absurd small amount of boards, I feel.
It's that, and I wish the DLC that's been announced for the game included boards. Most of it's just been outfits and shit, and background music from the other Senran Kagura games. So like, if you're all about the bounce and titties and pinball feel, then cool. But like, if you actually wanted more variation in your boards, that's kind of disappointing. I mean, the game's $40, so I wasn't expecting like a full console experience. And I think the other thing is some people were mad at the lack of characters, considering Senran Kagura has like, I want to say like 40 to 50 something characters they could have used.
It's insane.
And the game only uses like 5 or 6 of them, one of which isn't even used like as an in-game model for the pinball. They're only in like cutscenes and shit. So those are the two detriments. That's probably why I say you don't really need to buy it now, because honestly, you could play it like you could play 2 or 3 times and most normal people would have their fill of it. But then again, if you're buying this in the first place, you gotta like Senran Kagura at least enough, or you just either that or it's a Saturday night. And
Do you play with headphones on? Do you play?
Why we?
I feel like it's too much. I feel like it'd be too much.
I
Can
mean,
Nintendo add this to the VR support?
Actually, a pinball game would be cool with VR.
actually, that would work pretty well.
Yeah, it would.
sure
It
they
would really
have.
well.
All right.
We would I co-sign on that.
So, since no one else here has played the game, but I think he maybe piqued some interest with that HD Rumble. But I got on the screen now for people watching live. Went to VG charts just for shits and giggles, and I seen the week of June 29th, which was the week Mario Maker came out. It came out the 28th, I believe, right? So North America almost hit 100,000 Switch sales week ending on June 29th. That's like by far the highest I've seen in a long time in North America. Globally, it was almost at 300,000, which is like I don't think it's done that this year. So Mario Maker definitely had an impact on North America. Europe, it's still number 1 in the UK for the 3rd straight week, which I know there's probably not a ton of competition right now, but I'm just really curious how well Mario Maker 2 is going to end up selling, and that's definitely Switch's. I mean, it's definitely still going up the on the chart. So that's like the biggest week I think since the holiday season that I've seen, and who knows what it's gonna do for like, I don't know how Fire Emblem will do for like North America and stuff, but we'll talk about the Nintendo Switch Lite in a minute, and I think that with like Pokemon will be probably the next time we see numbers like this high. So any thoughts on that?
Where everybody's streaming the hell out of that game. It's very stream heavy. So, like, literally, everybody's streaming it. And it lends itself well to that. So I'm sure that helps as well.
Yeah,
Good thing Nintendo ended that whole, the not censorship, but what is it? The
Copyright shit.
The
Copyright
copyright bullshit.
Which was obviously, hopefully they can see now that was a detriment to them.
Mm-hmm.
So
It is insane how many streamers stream it that have a really high sub base, and in ratio to how many people watch them that don't actually have a Switch and that tell them that they're buying a Switch just because they saw these people playing Mario
Yeah,
Kart. I honestly think it's probably the biggest driver that is selling this game.
Yeah, because I mean, anybody who streams any kind of content, there's people that have been Mario Maker streamers since the game came out, with 1, and obviously they're going to continue. But then you got new channels popping up, and even channels I wasn't watching. Now that 2's out and just the excitement of it, I started in the Invitational. I started watching the Dragon Feeny. I don't watch everyone. She does like, I don't even know if it might even be multiple ones a day. It's like every day. It's like I don't have the time to sit there and watch somebody play every day, but every once in a while on my lunch break or something, if there's not a new video from like Mrs. T or Clocked It or Robert or Terrell or Retro Death, which I don't watch a whole lot of other channels these days. I'll check out some of her stuff, and it's just a relaxing. It's fun to watch, especially somebody who's good. Somebody I was trying to watch a video today, and Robert did this, and I thought it was great. So shout out to Robert's mom for her being a good sport, playing.
That was amazing.
That was a great video, and you gave her a level you made that wasn't very difficult. I was watching one. I won't say who it was. I don't want to bash the person, but they had a beginner game, like a non-gamer on, and it was one where you have to fly in the with the raccoon suit in Super Mario Bros. 3, and it was an all spike path. And for like 8 minutes, I'm watching this failure over and over and over, this person, and then just like this isn't fun because she's already a noob. So a basic level is gonna give her trouble. Why give her a hard level that there's no way in hell she's gonna pass? And it just wasn't.
My levels?
This was like, I mean, it wasn't all that, but it was like you fly up through spikes, and then if you keep your raccoon tail, then you have to descend slowly while maneuvering through spikes, and then you hit a P-switch, and you had to jump up kind of like with spikes everywhere on the coins turning into blocks, and then you had to carry a P-switch down to the bottom, and then it was music blocks with fucking spikes, so you have to do the short hop. If you do any kind of regular jump, you're gonna die. And it was just, that was the whole level. It was super short, but I mean, it'd take even an experienced gamer, a dozen tries plus probably. And it was like, this isn't fun. Like, it's not fun to watch a beginner play a really hard level. Now, a really skilled player who can get through it and then edits some of the tediousness of retrying the parts 50 times, like, thank God, like Dashy Games does that, where he might be on his 100th try, but he cuts it down to just the funny moments, so it's cut into a couple minutes past all that. But it's definitely a popular thing, and I'd like to see Robert repeat that, have your mom try a different level now that she's got past that one or something.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those things too. If you go to the well too many times, then it's gonna lose a little bit, lose its appeal each time you did it. Like if you started doing that like every video, I think what do you want to call it? The appeal would probably start to wane. But
yeah.
But it was definitely a great video, and I recommend. I put it in the Discord. I shared it on Twitter. That was a very entertaining video. I actually watched that video with my mom, and I've never watched a YouTube video in my life with my mom. And we laughed.
That's like a proper Nintendo advert right there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I showed
families together.
I showed my grandparents in it. They never watched my videos, and they were like laughing. Oh. They were.
It wasn't quite Nintendo enough because there was a lot of profanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. It's just wholesome, not wholesome. It's just genuine. That's what the word I was looking for. It's just genuine, reaction to it. Wasn't anything other than that, and your mom's quite the character, so it was very entertaining. So yeah, we, like somebody said, we see where you get your sense of humor and your
she kind of take up from her.
I no longer think
your
that.
outfitness.
I was gonna say, I no longer think that I'm the reason we talk like so trashy right now. I'm pretty sure it's Robert's influence.
Yeah.
No, well, once if you check the podcast before I'm 18, I don't curse, but once I turned 18, the mouth came on. It's because technically I was not the curse, but it was like it's not like you're like. It is, but and so once and I always said once I'm 18, I'm gonna wake up and yell "fuck," and but like she wrote on my birthday cake, "Happy fucking birthday," It was just...
Nice.
Well,
Oh my god!
I will say at least you waited that long because I've taught middle schoolers who are the most sailorous, foul mouths.
Yeah, I mean, at school, like, let's be for real here. I wasn't waiting, but
Right.
in the household, she knew that I cursed, but it was just kind of the charm of waiting till 18 to be like, oh, get ready. I was like,
I'm gonna guess you weren't, saying fucking shit while the teacher was speaking.
No.
You did that with your friends, when you guys were in,
no,
in the hall or whatever, but not in the middle of a lesson.
No, definitely not. Those some bad kids.
Be the kids in America.
I never used to
Fuck,
swear
I love that
around,
song. God damn it! Sorry.
I never used to swear around my mother because she just, my God, man, she was crazy back in the day. Be like, Eddie Murphy with a slip and a boomerang. You're like,
I would have slapped the taste out of my mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't even. I'm afraid to curse around my mom today. You're talking about when I was
exactly,
a kid.
man. I don't even do it.
It doesn't feel right to me today. So
yeah, I don't do it. So while we've been chatting, I clicked on Game Explain. They got 5 minutes of direct feed Astral Chain gameplay. I'm wondering if it's from E3 that they finally posted. So if anybody wants to check that out, I'll just have it playing.
Cool stuff.
Yeah.
The game comes out next month. That's crazy, yo.
It's too much right now, man.
It's still like a month and a half, though. It's like,
man, shut the fuck up. Let me have this, all right?
What is it? The 20th of August, is it, or something?
No, it's the 30th.
Or 30th, end of the month.
I'm not gonna lie, yo. I'm gonna pick up Fire Emblem, yo. And
don't do that. You're not gonna fucking beat it. You go sit there and dick around with it for 6 months.
Well, 6 months, I'll beat it.
Say what?
Rob's playing games, though. He's playing games. He's on Dragon Quest. He's on Xenoblade.
Yeah, just...
Hey, yo.
Yeah, don't get ahead of yourself.
Although I'm just nervous the fact that they said that he just casually said, yeah, it's like 80 hours. And I'm like, what?
I'd wait to pick up Fire Emblem until next. I have a feeling there's going to be a drought in the first like 5 months of next year.
You can't say that. Animal Crossing. He has Animal Crossing.
Oh, that's right.
Animal Crossing is gonna.
I forgot they got pushed to March.
Animal Crossing, and then like Final Fantasy.
Isn't like Animal Crossing? You're gonna cram 80 hours in a week. You know what I mean? Like.
You will.
What are you talking about, Final Fantasy?
No, the first few days. What?
Oh, you mean I was thinking for Switch. Sorry.
No, because I'm saying
completely
like
lost.
Yeah. What the fuck?
What?
Because I'm saying like Animal Crossing. Like,
what's that noise?
There's gonna be a time in
Who was that?
Crossing where.
Robert,
what are you doing?
Robert's been cutting out a little bit. Then somebody's like doing something that's making a bunch of noise in the background. It's quiet now.
Somebody
sounds like
stirring the
I'm
glass.
just sitting here in my quiet ass office. Sound like he's collecting cans or some shit.
I was gonna say that Animal Crossing, there's gonna come a time where you're gonna play, like a half an hour a day because you're gonna check up on your time, you're gonna do some shit, and you're kind of done for the day. You know what I'm saying?
And just so people are clear, what I meant by drought, I just mean because all the games Nintendo's got coming out in the next 6 months. Plus, I forgot it. I was still thinking Animal Crossing was 2019, so I forgot about that one.
No, but I'm not picking up the Final Fantasy VII remake. I said I'm gonna pick that up when it's finished, when it's done.
Yeah, so I think
you'll never get it then.
I think there will be I think we're gonna have Nintendo's gonna have a bit of a gap after Animal Crossing to the next.
What if you don't think there'll be? I bet you there's gonna be something in April and May.
Yeah, they probably won't have nothing.
They really haven't had any, like, even since the Switch came out. I mean, they had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
April it was in Yoshi.
April and May was.
What was Yoshi?
Yoshi was March, wasn't it?
Yoshi was February.
February, March.
Yoshi was.
No, it was in February.
Either way, I don't think they've done a big game in April or May on this for the Switch from Nintendo.
Yoshi, yo. Big?
Yoshi was in April though, was it?
Oh, it was March 29th.
Yeah.
It was March. It was
March
I think
29th. It was basically April.
I think Splatoon 2 was April.
That was July.
No, that was July.
That was July.
That was July,
my
that was
man.
July.
Arms was June.
Arms was June.
That was after June.
Mario
Arms.
Maker's June. Yeah, I don't think they've since the Switch came out, other than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, they haven't had a first party
That's true.
bigger
I
title.
Yeah, they have.
What?
Mario. Oh, you just said it. Never mind.
But I would argue, okay, Yoshi is
Other
in
than
Got
Mario.
your
April.
ass.
Oh, goddamn.
Yoshi is in April, but it's 2 days away from April,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
still.
You're likely playing it in April.
You're arguing semantics. At this
Facts
point.
is facts, yo.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm just thinking I mean, I'd like to be wrong, but I kind of think that's kind of been their thing with the Switch is to have some big games at the end, middle to end, and then have not much in the beginning of a year, first half of the year, really.
Kind of have people play those games in the beginning. I mean, I'm fine with it.
So, but
You only saying that because you got Animal Crossing. Your ass will be on that for a while.
But yeah, I mean,
Animal
listen,
Crossing, bitch.
March with Animal Crossing alone is gonna drive sales throughout until June anyway, so it doesn't matter.
and I guarantee there'll be an Animal Crossing themed Nintendo Switch Lite. Guarantee it.
Fuck yeah, there will be.
I would buy a
Oh.
dock or some shit if they had it. I don't know, or Joy-Cons.
Brown and yellow. Tom Nook and Isabella.
Nah,
we already have. We
Oh, we
have
already
both
got
of them.
that.
Yeah, we got the Let's Go Eevee
Let's Go
Joy-Cons,
Eevee,
and we
yeah.
got the arms.
and I'll be real, like, honestly, fucking
Sorry, you're
Isabel
being real,
is
bro.
overrated. Overrated. Tom Nook should have been a fighter in Smash. That's bullshit.
Man, get the fuck out of here. I'm not. Hey,
Especially-
listen, I don't need debt to be a game mechanic. Right?
Isabella is weird.
Come on. Tom Nook is for so much longer and is way cooler than fucking Isabel. Come on.
I agree.
Well,
Definitely agree.
If
But he
anyone
wears
was
a
going to be
sweater
a
vest.
fighter,
Yeah.
it should have
Dude,
been
look at Tom
Rossetti.
Nook.
You can't fight in a sweater.
Yeah,
vest.
even him, they were said he would
What are
have
you
been
trying to
fucking
say? What are you trying to say, T? My mom owns a sweater vest. Fuck you, man.
A teddy bear. What, is she an ultimate fighter? What I mean, what the fuck? You can't be a fighter in a sweater vest. That's all I'm
Man,
saying.
he's a gangster.
Come on, that would be awesome.
He's a gangster. He's a mob boss. He's just taking down.
that would change the world. So fuck it, do it.
We're not changing the world. Fuck all that. We're just on YouTube. You better cut that shit out.
I don't know. I would have liked.
Is
I would have
it,
liked.
is it
Tom
juiced
Nook.
by an astro chain?
I'm planning on it.
Are you planning? I thought you were.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I'm planning on it. I mean, what else can I tell you? I haven't pre-ordered it or anything.
What do you want
Oh,
me to say?
I know. No, I know. Yeah. But I figured, like, I figured you would just say yeah.
The thing, nothing that I saw at E3 made me want it more than I already did. Like
Yeah. No, that's it.
I wasn't
me,
like, oh
actually.
my god, like this looks next level. Like, oh, it looks so amazing. I want it so much more now. The first trailer looked good, and the gameplay looked like, it didn't really raise it up for me. I guess in a way
Just 'cause
that's kind of a disappointment. The fact that when I seen people
Oh.
actually play it, I wasn't like, oh yeah. I was just like, still looks good. It just didn't blow me away what I seen.
From the guy
Prediction
who's
right
always
now, my prediction right now, it's gonna be like his game of the year.
It
or
could
the
be.
second-
I mean, it could be.
You know how Juice does. The guy who's always complaining that ain't play on Switch. You sure ain't buying no game.
Ooh. Ooh. What
It's-
is the reality?
And plus,
Let's
it's
go.
like asking me right now, it's like I'm just so content with Mario
Mario.
Maker that it's like
Well, and I think for you, there weren't a lot of games you were overly interested in to begin with. Not this year.
It's 2018 again for Juice.
Why you gonna put him out like that, man?
it's 2018, except for there's definitely more quality games. They're just 2018. There wasn't a really, for me. I don't even think they were quality. I think other than Smash, I don't think there was any quality games.
Are you
put
going to
out.
get through Witcher 3? Expand your horizons.
Oh shit! She can't be trusted. Don't. You need to tell your wife. not to
Oh,
let you out,
you know what's
yo.
funny? You know what's
You cannot
funny?
be left at the house, yo.
I've heard people say that. I don't know if you guys seen, like, apparently, like, Dragon Quest Builders 2, like, it has on Switch that this. I see some people saying, "Oh, it doesn't run that well on Switch." They said.
What doesn't?
They
What are
said.
you
They
saying right now?
In the internet guy
said,
board.
they said Dragon Quest Builders 2 doesn't run well on Switch.
I haven't heard that complaint. That's
I've heard, and well, I saw it some because I'm looking up Dragon Quest, and so I see like talk about the Switch and that runs at 30 frames per second, bruh. And I'm like, what? So to me, like it never occurred to me once while playing it that I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe this is not 60.
It's not. I mean, 60 is definitely a nice frame rate over 30, but for a game like that,
For
especially,
for a game like
I don't
that, like
think-
it doesn't.
yeah. Does
didn't
it
even
bother
cross
you?
my
or
mind.
anything like that?
that'd be like
It
saying,
didn't cross my mind.
why isn't Mario Plus Rabbids fucking 60? Like that game does not need to be 60. It's like,
That's why it's 60 because it's not taxing to be 60.
It's like, but I was just like, I was thinking, like, I don't any problems. I'm hoping. Imagine if my save file gets corrupted, I'm putting that shit in the backlog and I'll play it.
well,
a
somebody
few
says the
years
PS version is also 30, just like Crash Team Racing. It's
Okay, then yeah, I don't understand. I didn't really.
I don't know if that's true. That's just what somebody posted.
That sounds right to me because I haven't heard anything about a comparison as far as like, oh, the frame rates are so different on Switch. And that's usually the first thing you hear. So I haven't heard that. And that's kind of.
It's weird, yeah, because at least for
The
some,
game is probably 6 or 30 on everything.
I'm looking up Dragon Quest Builders 2. I'm like length, and I'm trying to find out how long the game is.
I mean,
And
I don't play frames. I play.
does it
games.
look like fucking like most advanced Minecraft looking game ever? I mean, I don't understand why the like Xbox One X would be 30 frames per second with that art style though, unless the game engine is just.
Yeah, I think it's the game engine. I think it's the developer choice.
If they just absolutely didn't even have a 60 frames per second in mind.
I was like, I think it runs
Not very playable.
No, the PS4 version is 60.
Is it?
Yeah,
Dragon Quest Builders 2.
yeah. For 2, it's 60.
Man,
And
I tell you,
But remember, the Switch version has exclusive shit in it though.
it's something about the Switch that people don't talk about this stuff anymore like they did the Wii U. Poor Wii U, where they just bring that shit up every 5 seconds. And the Switch get away with 30, half the frame rates all the time. Nobody says a damn
Still,
thing.
it seems like people.
Hilarious.
There's enough people saying they thought all versions run at 30 that it's. I don't think we have a definitive. Because I'm looking at a video review and it's just 1080p.
No one knows anything about this game apparently.
I mean, this art style. There's absolutely no reason it shouldn't be. I mean, it's like the PS4 could run this at 60, no problem. It's just it must have not been in the
and the
game
Switch
engine.
could too.
I mean, there's a few scenes where it looks pretty impressive, but for the most part,
I mean, I don't really.
That's not the Dragon Quest I wanted in my life anyway. That's not the Dragon Quest I'm feeling.
Dude, you should pick it up. It's so fucking good. Like
I'm
was
not
just
buying
like,
it now.
I was.
I don't like that noise T makes.
I mean, even the trailer's only in 30, so I'm kind of believing it is like 30 even on the PS4. So
I'm looking at footage.
Robert spreading that fake.
So
news.
what the hell are people talking about then? I mean,
I don't know that. I have no. Maybe they did. I don't know.
Maybe they just assume, and when you assume, you make an ass out of you.
mm-hmm.
Maybe they think that
It's you. What about me, nigga?
Nah, I ain't throwing.
So
me.
did this just come out on all the systems at the same time?
No, I think it just came out on Switch.
Because I saw an article about how it's outsold the PS4 version.
I thought the PS4 version came out before.
No, but no. It came out
See
in
all this
Japan.
misinformation in this podcast is all.
I don't know how to read.
Yeah, you know what we always talk about, like Nintendo's IGN voice chat or whatever. They don't know shit what they're talking about. We don't.
Yep,
No,
we
what it
exposed
is-
now.
Fine. Let me go Google it real quick.
Because I saw numbers of
See,
what.
the difference is it was easy to do that on the Wii U because the Wii U ain't had no games. Switch got so many
Okay,
games.
I lied.
You can't keep
I
up.
lied. They both came out.
Corey,
They both came out. They both came out.
Don't take.
Whoa,
them
relax.
things real serious.
Relax, Robert.
And Robert, I don't know what your connection doesn't seem to be as
He's angry
solid.
as fuck today. What's going on?
Been breaking up.
Really? Like how
Mhm.
bad?
I didn't.
Like
Your
today.
last little thing, I didn't even hear what you were saying when you got right before I said that.
He said he just said that motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's what he told me. That's all right, Mr. Disrespectful.
No, because I said that in Japan, I think it came out like last year in December. Or some.
Well, yeah,
crazy
but
shit.
we knew that. I just thought
It came out on the PS4 and I must say Wii U, Switch
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah, the Western version. came
Mhm.
out.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you know what?
Late ports, half the frame rate. Boy, the people would cry about that on Wii U. used to cry about that.
I can't believe people aren't
Switch.
PS4 owners should be mad that the fucking. Oh yeah, this comparison shows it at 60 on.
That's what I'm saying. It's 60.
But the visuals aren't that different between the two.
No, it's not. It's not.
No, well, that's why. What is it? What's the resolution on Switch? Is that?
It says 1080
really,
on this video.
I think it's 1080 on dock.
1080. No wonder it looks that sharp because it looks even sharper than I thought. So okay, all right.
Yeah, it's 1080. It's 1080 dock. So maybe that was the trade-off. They got it 1080, but they.
This conversation is fascinating. I tell you.
I swear to God.
I was like, look at the frame.
See, if you've been drinking, dog, you've been drinking.
Look at the resolutions in the frames.
You've been drinking.
All right, so
I'm about to start. I haven't started yet.
Oh shit!
It's also online play, yo.
Say what?
I'm not gonna play with anyone.
Oh god.
Oh man.
All right, so let's.
30 frames is not very playable. So.
And speaking of PlayStation 4, I saw on the Amazon Prime sale they had a PS4 Pro with Spider-Man and Horizon Zero Dawn for $299.99. Anybody that was in the market?
What was that?
PS4 Pro with Spider-Man and Horizon for $300.
No, I don't care about that shit.
So that's, considering that console's barely dropped below 400 since it came out, that's definitely
that's a good price though. Yeah.
If you were looking for one, now would be the time, because you wait another year and it'd be real cheap, but then there's gonna be the PS5 out. So, but anyway, let's get on some new hardware that just got announced. Everybody was so shocked and no one saw this coming.
Except everybody.
So the Switch Mini is officially the Switch Lite, which it makes sense since Nintendo's used the Lite name before. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, it sparked so much fucking debating and anger. It's like, I have no idea why. I'm just over here. I don't care about a handheld only Switch, but if I was a handheld or like a portable only type of guy and I didn't have a Switch, I just think that everything about it, looks nice, price and everything. So
just, you don't understand something though. It's gonna make development harder.
Oh yeah.
They have
to develop for a portable only device. God.
My head hurts.
And also remember, kids, the 3DS and 2DS have different libraries.
Oh boy.
So watch Terrell's video if you want to know the context about what he's talking about. A certain somebody.
I heard you were being too hard on.
Who told you that?
I thought he was actually being a little bit.
I
thought he was being way nicer than I was expecting.
Well, I'm not saying that. For me, another YouTuber during the stream that you were being too hard on her.
Oh, was he trying to get some vitamin C?
Maybe.
I don't know. He was calling her out in I forget, it was on Twitter or whatever.
All I'm saying is,
like,
all I'm gonna say is upload the Shadow Fox debate. That's all I'm gonna say. upload the Shadow Fox.
Yeah. So
I don't hear no words.
Let's just go down the list of people's what you thought of seeing what the actual mini turned out to be, and then I'll wait till the end, because I have, even though it's not for me, I do have a few things that kind of I was scratching my head about. So let's start with Clocked It. Just get your take on what you think. I know you said whatever system's available when Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, whether it's a mini or a pro, that's what you were getting because you're looking to get a second Switch. So I'm curious what your thoughts are on the Nintendo Switch Lite.
I don't want to, man. I don't want to. I'm personally not that fussed on it. That doesn't mean I don't think it's a cool device. I actually showed my kids, and believe it or not, my kids weren't interested because they actually do more than I actually thought they did.
Do what?
Both the TV
Play on
and
TV.
I don't know. You guys are getting cut out on my end.
Yeah, he did cut out just then for me.
Yeah,
too.
he did cut out. I heard
Okay.
it too.
Sorry. Yeah, they use both TV and handheld, like I said, more than I thought they did. And they weren't that interested when I said, perhaps we'll get this sometime. Like, why can't we just get the normal Switch? We like that one.
Why can't you give me $100? How about that?
Yeah, so it's not a immediate buy in a Bernard household. So I don't know. I'm in a weird spot.
Because I mean, that $100 cheaper is definitely gonna be a pro, not a con. If you were trying to think about buying a second Switch.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. What about the look and design of the thing? What do you think about it?
I hate. I say I hate. The only thing I don't like about it is like you got that little extra rectangle around the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. Yep.
Yeah, you got
the bezel.
What does it remind me of? It's like a 3DS or something, or
the original 3DS had the original 2DS I think had that shit.
And yeah, I just think that makes it look ugly.
It looks like a kid's toy.
Yeah, aside from that, I mean, it looks pretty similar. It's not drastically different, is it? It's a bit more rounded by the looks of it. Obviously, it's a bit smaller, a bit slimmer, but it's not as drastic as you kind of normally see with a Nintendo redesign. Even if you look like the original DS to like the DS Lite, fucking different.
Mm-hmm.
You go from the Game Boy Advance to the Game Boy Advance SP, completely different, and then you go from the normal 3DS to the 3DS XL. They're completely different. So I think this is one of those ones where visually it's not really different, but still at the same time not like where as soon as I saw the SP, I was like, holy fucking shit, goodbye old Game Boy Advance.
Mm-hmm.
Give me an SP. As soon as I saw the DS Lite, I still think the DS Lite is one of the best looking handhelds ever made. And as soon as you saw that, I had to get it, and it was kind of the same with the 3DS XL.
Yeah, especially the original 3DS was so terrible design.
So I think the first time where it hasn't been a instant, yeah, this is absolutely gorgeous, and I need to get it. So that's kind of what I am. It's great. I think we all agree that it's gonna sell well, and it's a good move on Nintendo's part. Because they needed to hit this side of the market, because I feel like this is the side that's been. And I mentioned my friend who bought who's a Nintendo hater.
Mm-hmm.
He bought his Nintendo Switch. He loves his PS4. Bought his Nintendo Switch. Never docked it once. In fact, the dock never came out of the box. Handheld. And then he sold it because he hated the flimsiness of it. He hated the Joy-Cons. Didn't care about HD Rumble. Didn't care about motion controls. And he bought Bayonetta 2, and he'd even played Bayonetta 2 because in the end, he just couldn't be bothered with the device.
Why wouldn't you dock it? I just don't.
Let's not get into that. But he saw that,
that would solve half the problem. Buy a Pro Controller, dock it, and then none of those complaints exist anymore.
I shouldn't have to do that.
No, because then you start going into 720p territory and all that stuff. And
all these dark memories resurfacing and shit about conversations you had.
All right, let's.
Nintendo got that sale though.
Just quickly, he saw the Lite, and now he's like, yeah, I'm gonna get that. That's exactly what I wanted, because it's more like the PS Vita. A standard handheld. That's what he wanted.
So he wanted a handheld device, it sounds like.
Yeah.
All right, T, I know you did a couple. You did a video and a live stream. So, but why don't you just recap quickly your thoughts on the Lite?
It's just it's not for me, and that's fine. I'm not gonna cry. like it'd be great if it was the Pro, but it didn't make sense to put the Pro out first. If that truly is a thing, I still do think it's a thing, because I think that's something they would want to save for the two consoles coming out next year, just to have the narrative. Nintendo likes to do that. They like to keep the narrative on them, to focus on them with something, even when the so-called, those guys aren't our competition. Yeah, right. Whatever. Shut up. They are your competition. But yeah, like.
But would you consider getting your kids this and then maybe either selling or trading in the old version? I
thought about that. I asked them, but just like Clocked It, we like being able to do it. When they like the option, even if they don't use it that much.
Yeah.
So, they don't want to do it, and they like the Joy-Con as well. My daughter loves the Joy-Cons, so I don't see them wanting to trade it in for a 2DS or 2DS. Look at me. Basically, trade in for a Switch Lite, because they like the versatility, and they're used to it. Now, if I hadn't gotten them Switches yet, and this thing was coming out, they wouldn't have the choice to make. I would make that choice. I would have saved the $200, buying them both one. But they don't want to go back now that they have what they have. So,
and I can see that. All right, Terrell, I know you're mainly, or you do a lot of portable play currently. So let's say either there's a really good deal to trade in, or you hadn't had the Switch yet. What do you think of the Lite? Would it have been something you would have considered if you didn't have a Switch already?
Honestly, I was so conflicted. If I didn't know how Nintendo operated, I probably would have did what I did with the other handhelds and went ahead and bought it, and then immediately regretted it because another version would have came out like a year later, and I would have been pissed. That caught me up. I didn't learn my fucking lesson until the 3DS. That's when I learned my lesson. So I skipped the 3DX. What did I do? I didn't buy the original 3DS. I waited until the XL came out, and then I still bought the new 3DS like a dumbass. I can't be trusted. I think if we go with the hypothetical that if this was like the first version of the Switch, or this came out before,
or it was available, both were available.
Yeah. It's hard because I still like playing my games both ways. Like, I still couldn't see myself give it up.
I guess he likes his games like he likes his women.
Jesus.
Wow.
Wait, what?
Wow. Because you asked.
I didn't even understand that one.
Because to go both ways.
They go both ways. This is what he's doing. He's a piece of shit.
He wants a woman that goes both ways, is what he's saying.
Yeah, see, Juice is educated on women. But because you know what pisses me off? I like the D-pad. I like the slimmer design for it. The only thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't have grips on the back. Because I'm like, yo, if you're going to make a dedicated handheld version, put grips on the back of the fucking thing. That's like my only aggravation with it.
Yeah, just watching people play it in the ad, you can tell they're holding it like I had to hold my Switch before I got the grips, and my fucking pinky and everything would get so sore because you got nothing to grip onto. It's just a smooth surface, and it's like.
So you put your pinky under it.
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah.
I hate doing that. Yeah.
So like I said, I know how Nintendo operates, so I know there eventually will be like a new Switch, and I don't mean like new. I mean like new Nintendo Switch kind of thing.
I think do that and punch somebody in the face. They call it the new Nintendo Switch. There's gonna be problems.
As long as it's not a family member, I don't mind. The point I'm making is I'm probably inclined to get that more than a Switch Lite. Although I was highly tempted. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still somewhat tempted because I could have that one at work and that one be like my work one, and then the one at home could be like my dock only one, because I'm just that fucking crazy.
If they actually worked out the whole like you sign in and you get to download
No,
the
that
games.
doesn't work.
Listen, Juice. This is the worst idea since Nintendo Online. So.
No. That already works, guys. Ever since the cloud, Nintendo has not explained. Nintendo has not explained that at all. Basically,
no. Remember, they had the game share feature that was added in.
Yeah,
So
you can. You can put your account on a different Switch and have, because of the cloud saving now, your saves are automatic.
And it shows that you own the game. You just re-download it.
Right.
If it was a download title.
Yeah, because technically we would do that. We could do that with each other's accounts on our Switches if we cared to.
What if the only problem would be actually the physical games would be more of an issue, because if
no, because your saves are digital.
I know, what I'm saying is assuming if it would be fine, like for me, because I know my games for me, like I'm not sharing it with anybody. So if I want to play Breath of the Wild, I can go take it. But like if you were gonna have it in 2 different places, but other people played, you'd have to always bring the games back and forth. But
oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
but like that's my only that's part that features the main temptation. The fact that I can do it now means that September 20th rolls around, I'm like, do I don't need it. And then
I don't think there's any appealing color options for one.
I was gonna say that too.
Really, I like
that makes it a lot easier for me to
yellow's
compare.
The worst yellow you could, like.
I like the blue. I think
the blue's okay.
Turquoise,
and then like a gray. Turquoise. Like, come on.
I mean, I would say it's. I mean,
why no straight black? Colors. You know, they got a problem with black.
Oh, I knew it. You out here trying to push that narrative. You fucking left-wing Democrat. How dare you?
I can understand white, because white gets dirty easy.
Mm-hmm. Especially plastic.
Oh, no.
White plastic is the worst.
Your hands sweat. Your hands are going to be sweating even more, because it's like, I don't want to drop
we're still talking about the Switch. Oh, my bad.
I always like getting
can't hold it, so
black stuff. I'd rather get a black.
What?
I like having a black console.
What?
Although I did when the DS Lite came out, I got the. So there you go.
I
just thought it looked cooler.
White makes right.
I got a black.
So Robert,
I'm get racial, man. I'm just talking about colors.
Let's just stick to the fucking.
I'm talking about the color. White makes right.
Robert, what is your take on the Lite?
I couldn't care 2 shits about it. Everyone's like all stirred up about it, like what? And I'm just like, come on, like I just don't understand, like why is it matter?
But Robert, it doesn't switch anymore. How can they call it the Switch?
Robert, it's gonna have to have a separate development cycle for Lite games.
It's so bizarre to me, because
it's like you're gonna run it over with a car, then back up and run it over again. I don't even know why I'm saying that, but I'm gonna.
Oh shit!
Oh no!
Oh shit!
There's so much other things. There's so many other things in life, yo, and you why do you care about? Like, it's just, if you already have a Switch, like, really, you really care that much that someone else wants this thing?
I think the problem is maybe in some place in their mind they're worried that this, like, the handheld part of it's gonna be. Nintendo's just gonna switch over to that as the focus.
If it happened, who cares? Because fucking, we already have the Switch.
I know, but let's say I'm just guessing, like, so maybe in the back.
I don't understand why they even think that would be a thing. Like, that's not going to happen.
Eventually, towards the end of its life, maybe they'll only have the handheld version available. But by then, I mean, you have so many chances to have bought a Switch.
You know, they'll still have probably, docks that out. Oh, but again, it's the Lite. You can't dock.
Guys, that's not going to be a thing, because they're already making a new model of the Switch.
Sure.
They're doing the current Switch that we have. They're making they're revising that internally.
Yeah, that's what I was going to point out.
This is not going to be a thing. It's not going to be.
My only thing is in the future is, as long as from Nintendo from here on out has one console, and then if you want to later on separate them, I don't give 2 shits. Just give me one console so I don't have to buy a handheld ever again in my life. That's all I'm saying. It's like, just do that and I will be set. Because then again, like I always had the option to, like, I went to go get an oil change and I played Xenoblade. It was fucking awesome. I was like, this is great, and but like Nintendo, just continue with your Switch. You just make it more powerful. You do new controllers if you want to do different things, add-ons, whatever. But platform that they all develop on, I'm cool with it. I don't give two shits. That's all, that's all I'm saying.
Nintendo always going to have
so much shit you don't give about. It's ridiculous.
They're always going to have a handheld. That market is too damn lucrative. You can't give that market up. So people are like, oh man, I can't wait till the 3DS just dies and goes away and Nintendo can focus on one console. I mean, technically they still can, obviously.
Yo, that's just big.
It is the same hardware.
No, man, there's another handheld mode they got.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Now you got to develop for the handheld.
No, that's not like for me. It's like, you know, I you know what kind of bugged me though. That's the one thing that bugged me is when I saw some people say, "Oh, I saw one that said, does this mean they're gonna stop doing the 3DS?" And I'm like, when have they done the 3DS forever? What are you talking about, yo? It's like, when's the last game that people said, I can't wait to get my 3DS? Like, who said that in the past 2 years? What are you talking about?
3DS is already dead. It's just still sells.
It's like the Vita. It's like the Vita.
As soon as they announced the Switch, the 3DS was dead. It was like, oh, okay, that's the next step. That's where we're going. Like,
Nintendo hasn't released a game. What, they released one game this year, maybe?
Was it a remake? The Luigi's Mansion?
It was a that was last year, wasn't it?
The remake thing, or was it last? I don't know.
I thought it was a Mario game that they released this year.
That was early last year, whatever.
Well, anyway, we don't even know. That's the point. We feel like, you know, we're like IGN again right now. We don't even know because, you know, Nintendo doesn't release new games on the thing anymore. It's done. They're not releasing a new game themselves. Maybe you might have a third-party game that's going to come out because it's been in works for a little while. But Nintendo themselves have not really. That's when you know a system is done. Ask the Vita. Like when, you know, Sony never really put like their first tier people into that system anyway. But when even the people who were making like, you know, the Sony like first party games, you know, like Uncharted and stuff like that, or when those games stopped, that's when you know that thing was done. They gave up on it. So it still sells enough to where Nintendo makes good money. Because think about they got to be making like crazy money in those things.
Well, the 3DS, the thing is though, like if you look on VG charts, it says worldwide it sells about 19,000, right? And I'm sure they probably make some type of money on it
a week.
And it's like, to me, it's like that's why when people still say
pretty good, you know, like that's good money.
2013, but like it's still, you know, I'm sure they're just like kind of like giving away them, you know what I mean? Like just we're emptying the lot,
yeah.
Like but I just feel like I just saw it, but it bothered me when I saw the tweet where I said, is this the first time they're going to combine handheld and console on one platform? Like, what do you mean? Since they've been doing this since 2017, where have you been, yo?
Yeah,
what the fuck? I'm like, what the? And it's just frustrating. Like, come on, man, you can't be that
dumb.
Announced
in 2015, right? 2015.
Like, come on, yo, we like, really? It's like, what do you think? They're gonna have the 3DS in 2023? They're gonna make games for it?
No,
what do you think?
It's done.
It's
hard to sell games on the 3DS at this point. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like it was so bizarre to me when I saw it, where I was like, dude, they've been this whole generation for the past 2 years has been a console handheld. How have you not realized that? What do you think you're holding in your hand? Like, what the fuck? That's
all right. Let's move along. Retro Death still has to give his take on the Lite.
Robert is befuddled.
I just think, because I know we've talked a lot about this dumb shit video thing he made, but it has to be said, I feel that the positive thing I have to say is that people like to say, like, the Switch Lite is, like, the dumbest idea ever, and, like, the Pro should have come first, but people don't realize Nintendo is launching 3 of their biggest franchises, handheld franchises, basically.
Don't start that. Even though I agree.
You get your ass whooped, boy.
But that doesn't matter, you know. Like, the Fire Emblem became big because of the 3DS and everything. Most of the people that buy it bought like on the handheld, you know. So you got Fire Emblem launching, then you got Pokemon launching, then you got Animal Crossing launching. The fact that now they launch a handheld dedicated Switch is absolutely fucking brilliant.
Yeah, the timing is definitely.
And it's gonna sell like fucking crazy.
Especially since Pokemon still looks like a handheld game.
Oh shit! Shots fired there.
We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
Sorry,
Move
It's
the fuck
gonna
on.
look good on that 5.5 inch
fuck
screen, though.
on.
It's gonna
It's
look
gonna look
really
great on that little screen.
Mm-hmm.
Move the fuck
I was like-
on.
I don't care about the Switch Lite myself because I think you said it too. Just it looks okay. The normal Switch already in my hands. You know, if I play Smash for like 5 minutes, my thumb starts hurting. The way the buttons are designed and shit. This thing is going to be exactly the same, but even smaller. There's no grips like the Rel said, so I don't care about the system myself. But it makes me fucking salty that this thing comes out. And I've been saying for 2 years that the Switch needs some nice designs and shit. This thing comes out, you got like yellow, blue, gray, Pokemon versions with white and design and shit. I'm like, you fucking assholes.
Yep.
They are fucking assholes. I want that to be said.
But just, I think it's a good idea, but I couldn't literally not care less because as many people have stated before, it's not for me, but this thing is going to sell like crazy.
Yeah.
And they said the same thing about the 2DS. Remember, back in the day, people said the exact same stuff.
I don't think
about
the 2DS really. I mean, I never saw numbers, but I don't think the 2DS ever.
Oh, it sold
took
really
off.
well. Oh, it sold.
It never became like the. I don't think this will become the main.
Oh no,
Switch.
I don't know why people are thinking that, but.
Well, that's why, like, when people say it's a dumb idea, I just wonder, like, what's dumb about it? I mean, like, I don't understand what's dumb about it. Like, it's how is it even an idea? It's just a thing they did. Like I don't know. It's weird to me. It's like, what's so dumb about it? Like, they made it.
So I think the best way to sum up Robert's thoughts and opinions is shut the fuck up.
Yeah, just like,
just shut the fuck up.
So here's my take. So I don't really care about handheld gaming anyway. But
he only has 2 hands.
The biggest problem with the Switch was the lack of ergonomics and the button placement, because they had to, a Joy-Con sideways had to work as a controller. So here they are making a system that has no Joy-Cons that slide off, and they mimic the button and analog stick location exactly like it is on the Joy-Con. So you got the right analog stick about a ½ inch below the B button, and I got the picture up on screen. Somebody's like elevating their thumb like over enough to the side to try not to hit the analog stick. But I was playing Mario Maker before the podcast started, and I was trying to make a jump, and I kept hitting the goddamn right analog stick and not pressing the B button all the way down. It's just like, you had an opportunity. Does it really matter that this lines up, the ABXY and the right analog stick line up exactly like they do on the regular Switch? You had a chance to make this thing ergonomic, put some grips on the back like that photo we saw, that concept somebody made. You had a chance to really get rid of.
Make it look more like the gamepad as far as the analog sticks, because that's
to have the analog stick off to the side a little bit. You got the home button all the way down at the fucking bottom of the device, and the screenshot button.
That's just terrible.
That's gonna be like a stretch of the thumb while in the hold on to this thing. So I was never gonna buy one, even if it was the most amazing, like, ergonomic, great looking system. But still, like, I just don't agree with that choice to mimic the Joy-Con exactly and not fix what, in my opinion, is one of the biggest problems with the Joy-Cons, is the placement of the right analog stick. And then the D-pad it's so close to the bottom. It's nice as a D-pad, but it's even further down the system than the directional buttons on the Joy-Con. So it's like, I can't even imagine playing with the D-pad on this thing. Just watching the video.
Honestly, your gripes about this are the same gripes you would have about pretty much every handheld. They are not comfortable.
No.
I can't think of one that's just like, oh, that felt great.
So why didn't they? I mean, they had a chance to make it a little bit more comfortable, but they chose not to.
Well, let me take that back, because once they threw analog sticks on, that's when it felt like, oh no, because like I'm right now I'm holding my PSP and it feels pretty good, but it's smaller though. That's one reason. One thing is that it's small and it feels a lot better, and it has, instead of having a straight up analog stick, it has freaking analog nub. So that's feels better. But when you're actually playing it, it doesn't feel that great.
I think the 3DS is really the 3DS XL wrap is really comfortable though when it comes to the button placement and the size to hold it and the the little D-pad thing. I think that's one of the rare comfy ones. And it's not a handheld, but I would say the gamepad is goddamn comfortable.
And the gamepad doesn't have a whole lot of grip though. Like it's just enough where you don't have to like put your pinky under it to hold the system.
Yeah, the curved backs and all that.
Just a little bit of a raised curve on the back because doesn't have to fit into a dock. It's already got the right ZR and ZL already stick down, so it's not like you're making the system thicker. You just make it the grip a little bit less than how far that sticks out. It's just
maybe I don't know, Retro. Maybe you got little baby hands, but 3DS. I got it right now, and I had to do the same thing. I forgot that I hold it like this. I put my two pinkies out for support at the bottom to hold it.
You got baby hands.
Yeah, but the pinky thing, like I do that too, but I don't think that's
at least the nub. The nub is it's above and to the left.
The nub and the D-pad and the buttons, and when you have like the thing on the shoulder buttons and everything, like to me the 3DS it feels really nice.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, it's still, you talking about grip and all that.
Yeah.
Your hands don't fit comfortably on it. The DS part of it is what gives it some issues because of the weight. So you have the top screen flopping around, when you're playing. So you have that extra weight that's leaning over towards you. So it doesn't feel great in the hands or anything like that. I mean, you're just used to it.
Nintendo's never really made a super comfortable handheld, but
no,
I thought they had a chance.
Game Boy Advance, maybe. I think that was probably the most.
I thought that thing was super uncomfortable for me.
The original Game Boy Advance was just terrible. The fact you couldn't see the screen. I don't even remember
the Game Boy Advance. We're talking about comfort here. We're not talking about the screen.
I'm just saying
the Game Boy Advance is worse to you to hold than the DS.
Fuck yeah.
I can't even remember. I got rid of that thing so fast.
The original one had like a weird shape where it became smaller when it went outward. So I had to hold it really awkwardly always, and then hitting the shoulder buttons, I had to like bend my fingers really weirdly on that thing. No, that thing is not comfortable.
How?
I don't even remember the original.
Exactly.
That's insanity.
Anyway, who cares?
Game Boy Advance was probably one of the most comfortable handhelds.
Memories of having really bad handheld experiences in terms of comfortability with Nintendo handhelds, apart from the Switch. Maybe it's just old memories, but even when I'm playing the Switch in bed, I can't hold it up for long. I need to it's almost like it digs into the palms of my hands.
I gotta rest it on like a pillow if I'm laying down.
I bunch up the blankets and like rest it on it.
The point I'm trying to make is that when it was simpler, when the games were simpler, handhelds were simpler, when you just had a D-pad and two buttons, it was way more comfortable to hold that thing because all you had to worry about was the D-pad and the two buttons. But now when you got two joysticks and home buttons and all that shit, it's gonna not feel comfortable. That was the main point.
Yeah, that's true. Because you're trying to do dual analogs, you really got to hold the system differently.
So PS Vita is not comfortable. I was gonna buy one, and then I picked it up and was like, nah, Sway.
This ain't it, Chief.
I agree with Alex Prime. He says he don't know how people can play the Switch primarily in handheld. It's so uncomfortable. I 100% agree. Yeah. Without grips.
The problem with it is heavy. It's this weight is what fucks me up.
There's just nothing to hold on to. If you're trying to move the sticks up and down,
if I have the grips, it's fine.
Yeah,
but the main thing is its weight.
Yeah, the weight sucks, but the grips are almost mandatory if you're gonna play.
Oh yeah, it is.
And there's gonna be grips for the Lite, but again, they got the analog stick directly below, dead center, below the B, and that just really kills any kind of comfort. But anyway, let's get on to the other part of this. Was, there was pretty legit sources saying there was 2 new SKUs of Switches coming out this year, and for those that didn't watch the Digital Foundry, the Lite is obviously one, and factually they have the adjustment to the patent or whatever, the file, and the other one is just the chipset that's in the Lite is going into the standard Switch, which means it has a slightly different RAM variation, just adds a percentage of efficiency, a couple percentage of efficiency. So that's your second SKU. It's just the same Switch, and like They pointed out it's a new, more efficient version of the Tegra. So the Lite can use a smaller battery, but get better battery life. It's not a lot more, but it's I think they said from a 4300 milliamp to like a 35 or 3600 or 3300 milliamps to get more hours. So that thing's way more efficient. But that's all they're doing. Even if they wanted to, like, let's say, overclock that more efficient to get the same battery life in the standard Switch, like they said, then developers have to account for a different variation when they develop a game. Then they'd have to actually consider the overclock. So, but everything's leaning towards they're going to have it identical specs to the Lite. It's just going to have the Lite's new, more efficient CPU, and I'm guessing way harder to hack. I think that's probably the main priority.
That's the main reason they're doing
it. And it's going to be in the standard Switch, and you won't even, I mean, maybe there'll be some kind of identification, some kind of indicator on the box, like a SKU number, that you'd be able to tell. Maybe the box art would make it obvious, because hey, you know, they're probably not going to have the exact same Switch box art on 2.5 years in, but so it's you wouldn't even be able to tell by looking at it. And I'm guessing Nintendo's going to use the smaller battery even in the bigger Switch to reduce weight, and just to have, for them, it's just easier for manufacturing. They're just going to have one battery. They're not have to worry about it. So you're going to get, instead of a really increase in battery time, I predict it's going to just be like the Lite. It's going to be the same amount of increase. Maybe they keep using the larger battery, and the reason to buy the $300 Switch, you know, is in portable play. You get, you know, Breath of the Wild for 5 hours or something. But I think they're going to use the small battery. So that's your second SKU. And then Doug Bowser just came out and said there's no other Switch revisions coming out this year. Now, I guess he could say that even if there was, just because he wanted to keep it a surprise. But I don't think there's going to be anything. And all the evidence points that second SKU is just a slightly different chipset in the standard Switch. So anybody that hadn't caught that information or heard was still maybe expecting a quote unquote pro version this year. It's already been pretty debunked. It sounds like they knew even more than they could even talk about, but the video was pretty clear that you're not getting any more. There's not going to be any more juice in the system. It's just going to be the new, more efficient CPU. Yeah, I picked that word specifically, but so yeah, no pro. So I know there's a really super guy who's still making videos with all this proof and stuff, and it's not happening. And maybe next year. I mean, but still, I don't know. At this point, everything was based upon that 2 SKU leak that turned out to be true. That was what the Pro was based off of. Now that's just this regular Switch with a different chipset, I think the Pro is now just complete rumor and speculation. Now there's really nothing no basis for the Pro anymore. So for those that were looking forward to that, sorry, I don't think it may never happen now. I mean, maybe it will, maybe it won't, but there's nothing indicating it anymore. So,
and this is nothing new.
No,
as somebody who to make pretty decent profit refurbishing 360s and PS3s. They look a lot alike on the outside. They look similar. When you go on the side, the motherboards are different. The chipsets are moved. The X clamps and all that is all different inside, and they have different model numbers.
Obviously. They just put out a PS4 Pro. I think it was the Spider-Man edition. That's like 20% quieter than the standard PS4. They put it's like slightly different chip that runs cooler, and then the fan stuff is a better fan. It uses less power and runs quieter, but gives you the exact same performance. And they didn't even announce it. It wasn't until somebody fucking opened one up. Just who knows? I guess because they saw a little bit different. The SKU, like the number, it was slightly different. So people are like, well, I wonder what's new, what's different. So I mean, that's all. That's all.
That's not really announcement worthy. I mean, I guess you could.
No, I don't think it would be.
I mean, nobody's gonna do a commercial on that. I don't think so.
So, and maybe Nintendo will be able to lower the price if they use a smaller battery in this new chipset, or maybe they'll just keep selling the standard Switch for $300. I mean,
I think they will keep selling it for $300, and I think that the Pro coming out is when they're going to change it. I think the Pro will probably come out at $300, then they'll drop. This is my guess. They'll drop our current Switch down to $250, and then maybe they'll bring down the Mini or the Lite
to like 180 or something.
Yeah, 180, right? Something like that. That would be my guess, knowing Nintendo's history, but who knows?
And maybe
that's all contingent on the Pro coming out. So
yeah, and if they do a Pro, it needs to be. They need to fix the things we've been complaining about. You know,
yes.
like the Joy-Cons. If it's still going to be a fully functional hybrid, they got to do something. They got to improve the Joy-Cons. Still have it work. The old ones work on the new one. The new Joy-Cons work on an old Switch, but they got to figure some stuff out. I would say the biggest thing, and I know we didn't talk about this with the Lite, is the fact that it's Wi-Fi only. So that's going to really affect people playing online because there's no option to have an Ethernet adapter and have it wired. And maybe the Lite does. They didn't announce it. Maybe it does have a better Wi-Fi antenna, or has a better Wi-Fi signal. Because Bluetooth. They announced that there was no additional Bluetooth in the Lite, but for a Pro or something, I'd want to be able to hook up some nice Bluetooth headset and stuff to a system if I'm upgrading. And I'm spending more money for a system that plays the same games. I want some nicer stuff. That's what I would want for that.
Oh, I didn't even think of that yet. Mario Maker's already fucking garbage online in multiplayer. With all these fucking bastards gonna buy the Switch Lite, it's gonna become impossible.
I haven't even tried
the Wi-Fi. All these people on Wi-Fi kill it.
Yeah, everything in handheld and Wi-Fi and shit. They really need to update that shit and add a mode so that you can just select connections.
Wired connection only.
I bet most people are on Wi-Fi right now and Switch anyway, bro, because it's not the most not normal, but
it's not. It's not like you just go to the
setup. You got to buy something extra.
Like Nintendo didn't even. There's not even a third party that just has a USB Ethernet adapter with a Switch logo sitting there in the accessories. You just have to know to go
insane
to like Amazon, or just know that a USB to Ethernet adapter works. It doesn't have
your
to be.
Wii one will work. People don't know that. Just don't know. The average person going to the store doesn't know that. They're probably using Wi-Fi.
And most people that buy the Switch don't need, maybe they'll assume it has an Ethernet port, and then, it doesn't. Well, it's Wi-Fi because they got everything else Wi-Fi. I got a buddy of mine. I bet his router's a good 40, 50 feet. He's got a big, a long, narrow house with an addition where his living room is. And then his TV's on the outmost wall, furthest away from his router and stuff. And he's got his TV hooked Wi-Fi. He's got his Switch Wi-Fi. He's got his fucking Xbox One Wi-Fi, all from the super far away. And he's always complaining about lag and Call of Duty and shit. I'm like, dude, you're 50 plus feet away from your router. You got everything's Wi-Fi. Like, run a fucking Ethernet cord or something.
Jesus.
Don't expect it to have a good signal when that's your setup. Like, you got to know.
You're talking about what, a $15 investment? Not even that much. You just buy an Ethernet cable.
Buy a 50-foot cable and just you gotta.
Yeah.
You might have to drill a few holes in the. Well, he's got a little subfloor. You could just run it underneath.
I recently did that myself to run, because I moved where my setup was. I moved into this little office space here, and I didn't drill a damn thing. I bought the little tack. With the little hooks on them, so you put the wire through that. Yeah, I did it in like 20 minutes. It was not a big deal.
And it makes a huge difference. Remember when we were trying to play Rocket League? I forgot because I got my new TV and I unhooked the Ethernet just to see how the smart TV features worked. And I'm like, God damn, this is laggy as shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, I was actually scoring more goals when it was laggy but then I was like, oh shit, I forgot my Ethernet. Like, it was just such a big difference from what I was used to. So then I hooked, Ethernet cord up, no more lag. I stopped scoring, but I could tell immediately the improvement. So I mean, they just have to. If they're gonna put out a premium Switch,
when we were playing Smash the other night, mine was stuck in Wi-Fi mode. So I had to restart and everything. As soon as I reconnected,
oh yeah, it's night and day.
The connection was it's infinitely better.
It was like we were playing in the same room once, because you knew something was up, and then like I said, sometimes if you're in the middle of a game and it's connected online and you dock your Switch, it stays to Wi-Fi till you close out the actual game. That was like, it doesn't just switch to wired if you're already in, even if you have the game minimized, I believe. If you were in the process of playing a game in portable mode and you dock it, it stays in Wi-Fi the whole time. So it was unplayable. And then you left and came back, and all of a sudden, like the rest of the night, I didn't even think about lag once. There wasn't even one instance of it after that. So I mean, I think it's such a shame that the dock doesn't have an Ethernet port. I've been harping on it since the day it was revealed. It was such a missed opportunity. Would have cost Nintendo $1 per system, maybe at most. Probably not even that much. In revenue to put that in, and it just boggles my mind. I can't take them seriously in the online realm when they're not going to put an Ethernet port on their fucking system.
Yeah. It's almost like they're still in Wii and DS modes where they just feel like they need to push, Wi-Fi, because they were so big on Wi-Fi, weren't they, during the DS and the Wii?
Oh well, the people complained because the 360 Wi-Fi adapter was $100, and it took up it took up the whole back of your system. So Nintendo Wii was like, everyone's like, oh, this $200 system has Wi-Fi. Why do I got to pay $100 for the 360 to have Wi-Fi? Then they started adding it.
And that's why it's so much more.
I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You didn't know that 360 with me? We in 360 with me? You didn't know that you had to do that?
I was like 2010.
And I almost bought one. One. That's how big the Wi-Fi craze was at that time. I almost spent $100 because I thought that was the thing. I thought Wi-Fi was the thing. I didn't know it was.
Oh my gosh.
Sucked for connection.
No, I just rode the Ethernet port, man. Mm-hmm. They would push, Microsoft, they push, Ethernet in people's homes before it was, readily known and available.
I mean, there's people that I guarantee you bumped up to, what'd they call it? It was high-speed internet, but it was cable internet or whatever. When it was first out, people internet, specifically got it for their Xbox 360. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah, that was a thing. Their original Xbox had Ethernet.
Oh, that's right. It was the original.
Yeah.
All right,
but that didn't sell as well. So,
I say we get to the questions because we got a few questions in here that will have some maybe deeper answers, and then we'll see where we're at for time. For anybody that doesn't know, the questions are in the Discord. The links to the Discord's in the video description, and then there's a Juices Loose podcast tab with questions for the podcast, and I'll switch to my display so you guys can see the questions.
Fancy these days. Links in the description. Go to Discord.
Getting legit here. Now we gotta have tiers and subs. People gotta pay to submit a question. That's what we really need.
We can call our subs like juice boxes.
Oh, shit.
I was watching Dragon Feeny, who I really like. She's a genuine, cool person. She's like, yeah, you get a Prime sub or whatever, and then you can share your Mario Maker levels. And I'm thinking, oh, you got to pay to share your Mario Maker level? Like, come on. that's silly to me. But anyway.
Wait, what?
We got to give them something. Got to give them some reward for paying, I guess. But
that reward.
Play my Mario Maker level. I mean, I'd love to see someone like her play my level, but she's like, I don't make super hard levels, so I don't know. Probably.
Here's a free cup of my bath water.
All right, so Goron J Fleming, I believe, is Goron J on Discord. So he's talking about collaborations or partnerships between game companies. Which do you think will work best for the industry in the long run? So I'm thinking like he's thinking like Microsoft, Nintendo type of collaboration. So anybody that wants to jump on that one, I don't know that I have too much of a thought on it.
Partnerships between major companies.
Mm-hmm. Like for the long run, I mean, do you think there's one that could happen?
That'll work out in the long run. That works
From
best.
the quote unquote big three, or
It doesn't say big three. I'm just like I would think like Sega and Nintendo working together, something like that.
Well, I like to see Sega and Nintendo work together to bring Dreamcast to the Switch. That would be cool.
That would be nice.
That'll help the industry in the long run.
But I don't think like Microsoft and Nintendo need to team up for the longevity of the industry. But at some point, maybe something needs to happen.
Yeah, not right now, but maybe who knows what the future might hold for gaming. So it's all good right now, especially if you're like a big studio. Even the smaller guys are getting a lot of shine right now too, so that's good. But things can change like that. It's in gaming, man.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with the streaming services and stuff. Maybe Nintendo will have to partner with somebody to keep stay ahead of that. But then he asked, what do you think of the free-to-play model, and do you think that we'll see more games go that role next gen?
Well, yeah.
I think for sure next gen. I think free-to-play is going to be big.
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if Rocket League does that within the next years. Now that Epic owns them, the way Fortnite works, and they got the whole Rocket Pass thing.
I just want to say, as soon as Nintendo figures out how to put streaming on a cartridge, then, and then they'll be streaming too. Oh man, stop.
What do you think of the free-to-play model in general? Just everyone here.
I mean, I'm perfectly fine with it. It's
all right.
Most of the time with those games, they're just multiplayer focused, and a lot of the times I don't really play a ton of multiplayer focused. You know, they require thousands of hours, and people love playing a ton. But I'm more just like, I gotta play a game that I haven't played on the N64, so it's kind of like it's not really my focus, you know.
I don't mind it if you don't like it. It's hard to say this because they want to make money, but if you don't have to pay anything and you can still get like a media experience out of it, I don't mind it. But if it's like if it gets to the point where if you don't pay anything you're getting a very shallow experience, that's when I'd have a problem with it. In its current state, I don't really. Most of the games you could play without paying anything and you still get a pretty good experience.
Yeah.
But why do you deserve to get a media experience out of something you didn't pay for? Like,
just because at that point that's not free to play. Like, you might as well just charge something if the free version is significantly lessened. But right now it isn't. I mean, you could play Fortnite to your heart's content, never pay a dime. You can play
Destiny 2 is about to be free to play.
I just think you don't get to gripe about something that's free, regardless of.
I played one of the best free to play games I played was called Path of Exile, which was on PC. I think it's come to PS4 as well, either now or later. But I was a Diablo clone, and I said at one point that this is better than Diablo 3. This is what Diablo 3 should have been.
Mm-hmm.
That was completely free to play. It was a full experience, and they only tried to get money off you through cosmetic items that had no impact on the game whatsoever. The game itself was just robust. It was free. It was incredible. And if you wanted to give to the developer in some way, then you could just by.
Did you?
Well, celebrate the games that. Obviously, you should definitely celebrate the free-to-play games that are robust and give you all that stuff. But I'm just saying it's not really fair to complain about a free-to-play game.
Well, what I'm saying is if that started becoming the norm, where it's like you're really not going to get much out of this unless you pay, then it's like why even still call it a free-to-play when it's like technically, I guess. But right now, if it stays the way it is, I think it's fine because. You're taking a risk if you decide to go that route, because if it's not hugely successful, you may not make your money back. But if it is, you're going to make so much more money than putting out a $60 game that that doesn't have reoccurring pay, where they're not just getting monthly income coming in for years like Fortnite. Like it's I just
My
think at
problem
that
with
point it'd just be free to play. Like it would be a lesser thing than what we have now. It's right now I think it's fine.
My problem with free-to-play games is a bit different. I feel that these days, like Locked said, some free-to-play games are better than some games you pay for. For me, it's more like a psychological issue where if I don't pay for a game and it's free, I feel somehow automatically less invested in it, as in like it's easier to let go. I feel if I pay for a game, I'm more dedicated to it. I'm more dedicated to finishing it. Like if I have so many games I paid for, I'm not going to play something for free when I have these games I want to invest more in. I know it's something weird, but
I
I
it's
agree.
just
No, I
not
don't
for
think it's
me.
weird. I think that's very normal. That's how I feel most of the time. So I
get
totally
that.
get that.
Completely agree with that. Absolutely. It's probably why we don't sometimes we don't even consider them as proper games, do we? They're just like mobile games. They're just those throwaway titles that you will just
Yeah, like that
quickly.
Pokemon game that they gave us. Like I played it for 5 minutes.
Pokemon Quest.
Pokemon Quest, yeah. Like
Yeah, it's a
Demo was
game that I downloaded and I never played it, yo. It's true.
I got a lot of it's a mobile version, the Fire Emblem Heroes. I never paid a dime. Looking at you, Terrell, and
That's me.
and I probably
That's it to you, sir.
I probably put, I want to guess, between 15 and 25 hours into that game, and I just never could get Lucina. And I was just like, you know what? I've done everything I can do. I'm not just gonna keep playing because you stop. It's harder and harder to earn whatever you have, the currency,
yeah.
whatever, to unlock the characters. Once you actually complete the quest, the only thing to do would be wipe your data and start over and hope to get the character you're looking for. But I mean, I actually like the shorter form battle for Fire Emblem because those long drawn out battles in Awakening, I started losing me. But so like something like that.
That's the thing for me too with that specific game. Like you said, the shorter battles got me back into it. My problem is after like days and days of playing and shit, I got like 20 fucking versions of the fucking guy with the eye patch. I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting any wipes. I'm done playing with this shit.
Oh, he's talking about Niles.
I actually played
He's
Fire
talking about
Emblem.
Niles.
Yeah.
I played that for a while too. Actually, I remember getting this red-haired chick that called me because I named my character Big Dick or something.
Of course you did. Of course you fucking
Jesus
did.
Christ.
Is it named
So
start with
I'm
the
not
S?
surprised.
What was there's a few redheads in that.
It's either Cherche or
I don't know,
Cordelia.
man.
Cordelia, yeah. That's
I don't know. I have to look it up. I took a screenshot because I thought it was hilarious. I'll find it.
So Tebon? I'm not sure how he pronounces that. He asked, why is everybody sleeping on Daemon X Machina? And I agree. I think people are sleeping on it, but I can tell you right now, after the demo and what I've seen of it, I'm not interested in it. And I can just say it gameplay wise, it's really not up my cup of tea. Maybe a lot of people are feeling that same way.
I think people are sleeping on it. Oh, go ahead.
It's mechs, isn't it? Mechs are always a niche title anyway.
Mhm.
So really,
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's like Gundam.
but
They sleeping on the same reason they sleep on Starlink or space shooters and any kind of it's a very niche genre these days. It's just not gonna hold people's attention for very long. The mech guys like me, I'm all in. When I saw it, I'm like, yep. But most people, if you're not into mech games, they have a certain kind of feel, and most people, don't really care for them. So
about this before with games. It's just like when did playing as a giant flying robot become uncool? Like
it's so weird. It's right.
No, it's a game that I don't know. I think there's just too many games that's one of the games that's gonna have to sit in the back burner for me, and I probably won't be picking up.
I know that they
later on in the
fixed a lot of things, but for me it was just like the distance objects I was shooting at. I couldn't really see them. All I could see was the white square around them, and it was just I felt so like not distracted, but distance from what was happening. Like, oh, it's a white square. I don't know what's in it, but I'm shooting it, and it's dead now. for me, it just, and I never.
You don't feel that way when you play like Star Fox. Like you don't see everything that you're shooting at.
Something about the on rails nature of Star Fox and like the branching path thing of the level design. I just always felt engaged the whole time. Like I don't know. I was just
you just like furries. Tell the truth.
You just God damn.
What keeps going off on messages here?
Cocaine. What?
I forgot to mute my phone.
Oh
yeah.
Drug tips,
yeah, Anna.
Yep,
you're right. It was Anna. So you.
Oh, he was on some basic bitch.
Yeah. All right. So and he's gonna have to correct. He's gonna have to tell me the pronunciation, but it's Tebon. Tebon. So he's bugging clocked it for another Breath of the Wild video. From what I hear, Red Knight had a really good theory video on the Breath of the Wild 2. So
a theory that I hadn't heard, which is rare because there's so many damn theory videos.
So he says he keeps going back to Breath of the Wild 2 years later, and he can't remember a game that he stuck with for that many years. So the question is, what do you guys think is the reason it's so engrossing, even after getting all the shrines and beating the game multiple times? Breath of the Wild.
It's the world itself. It's literally that. The world itself.
The current. Wait, Breath of the Wild 1?
Mm-hmm.
One, listen to me. Like they're gonna call it Breath of the Wild 2. Well, I haven't finished my shrines yet. I still have like 7 shrines to find. So I'm still gonna keep playing it for that reason.
Well, I've beaten it twice, and I kind of want to start a third playthrough. I don't really want to overwrite my original save file, but I think it's just the open nature of the way you can do things in any order. Freedom. And the fact that even though people say there's nothing to do in the world, so empty, like to me that's almost always interesting. And it's just, even if it's just like, oh man, this field has the flowing grass and the sun setting, in that moment.
That damn birds chirping, the insects running through the grass,
and then
the detail,
the little subtle noises of nature. And then like I keep seeing people finding that apple orchard, and like a little ways up the Sora Mountain or whatever it's called, where that deer spirit spawns. And I seen, like, probably in the last few months, I've seen 3 people who discovered that recently. Like, look at this orchard I came across. Look at this. And I think Clocked It was one that found it recently, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, it wasn't me for Breath of the Wild. It's like you guys said, there's 2 things. One, it's just a fucking beautiful game, and I just, like I said, I had enough of playing Yoshi. I'm like, I'm gonna play Zelda again. And one day I doubled the time I put in Yoshi and Zelda again, and all I fucking did was walk through the grass, climb a mountain, and look at the goddamn sky. It's just like the world. It's just so beautiful. And the second thing for me is, my favorite thing in this game is one of my favorite things in gaming ever, and I will never stop playing those, is the shrines. I love the shrines. I love how relaxing they are, how cool they look, the music and the riddles, and it just, I never want it to end.
Yeah, there are no challenge tombs in Tomb Raider, but they're all right.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think it's just how I mean, when you think of all the other like open world games we played, I played a lot of them, even games like World of Warcraft and stuff. But the world in Breath of the Wild is just so organic and just natural and just alive. And like you said, you can just it doesn't even have to be about the game. You can just be running and just marvel at the the sunsets. I tell you one thing I love, like when you get a sun shower.
Those are so cool.
Yeah, and then it sprinkles the grass with water, and then the grass reflects the sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it's just fucking moments like that. You just, and then
the Zonai area, you get those a lot.
It's just the game itself. It's just
it's like the movie Avatar, where people were just like, I want to go see Avatar again because I want to be in that world of Pandora again.
Yep.
And it was just such a visual feast, and I think Breath of the Wild just puts you on. Like, I didn't play Witcher 3. I know a lot of people who swear it's like one of the best games ever, or best RPGs ever.
Talking
I don't
about
know
it.
how that open world is, but
It-
I can tell you
it does-
Horizon Zero Dawn didn't have any moment where I'm just like, oh my god, look at that in the distance. I have to go there because it's so restricting. Even if you wanted to go somewhere, so hard to get there because all the restrictions and how you get and climb, like get up higher and stuff. It's like it's just was frustrating.
I'll tell you about Witcher 3 as somebody who's put 50 hours into it. The open world is not very inviting. It's like, oh, let me go over there. You get mauled by wolves. So it's just like you can't explore like right off the bat, and you're always running from things, and it's just not very interesting. A lot of it, it's just like think of you play Tomb Raider extensively.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very much like the open areas in Tomb Raider, where it's just like, okay, there's things here, there's stuff to collect here and there, but it's just not very interesting or fun to do it.
Definitely not seeing something in the distance saying I want to end up there.
No.
Nothing like that.
Witcher as well, is it was
There
very.
are areas like that though, but you go there and you, like I said, you get murdered immediately because the game says you're not supposed to be here yet. Basically, you don't have
RPG heavy,
right?
But even in The Witcher, the world itself, I mean, the actual lore and the world itself is incredible. But it's
that's great. That stuff is fantastic.
Morbid, trap world. It's plagues, and you don't think, oh, I want to go to that village, because at the end of the day, everyone's fucking dying there. You just, it's a horrible place to be. But then it does have some amazing, beautiful places. But even then, it's not like you can go to those mountains. Those mountains look beautiful in the background, like we've always seen, but you for the most part can't go to them.
You go up there. Oh, look, there's a witcher. Rah!
Yeah.
They attack you.
That's some areas you can, and and I completed the game, and I tried to explore as much as I could, but you're also very restricted, and the controls with Geralt, I couldn't go back to play the DLC after I played Breath of the Wild. You can't play The Witcher again because the controls are so shit.
That's exactly what happened to me.
He controls so stiff compared to.
It's like an early Assassin's Creed game. The combat system. That's what it looks like. I didn't play it.
If you like roll dodging, you're gonna love The Witcher 3.
Well, the big thing about me, even like in Xenoblade, when there's time where I'm like, I've tried everybody. I don't think you could jump while you're in the water, and it's annoying because it's like, damn, I know Link could. And I was like,
why, if your feet are in the water?
It's like this, literally like swimming around in the water.
You can't jump.
It's like you're in mud, basically.
Yeah, and the whole thing is you can't climb. So like even there's like a little step that's like, come on, I know I could just get up this little thing. Come on, dude, just you're raising your hand. Yeah, it's going above it. It's going above it.
The Witcher 2 had some fucking invisible walls, man. Jesus.
Invisible sliding. I'm having that problem right now because I'm playing through Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and it's very similar, like I said, in many ways, where there's these little rocks and you just can't jump on them. You can't jump on them. You can just slide. There's an invisible wall covering that rock.
There's some cool places that you can actually climb and do the double jump, and she'll grab, and it's not clearly marked.
It's very scripted.
Yeah,
but it's like specific places. That's the thing.
But they're not like marked like with yellow, like a.
No.
In the hub worlds, and you can turn off that in the rest of the game too in the settings. But yeah,
we'd be spoiled.
It's not completely free. So let's do a couple just quick ones. This one's kind of a joke question, but Terrell, what is a better deal? Gamer Girl bathwater or Nintendo Switch Lite?
Nintendo Switch Lite, because I'm not trying to get no herpes. You got me fucked up. Is what you got.
I'm just joking, but I sent you guys some pictures of this really cool, like, it felt like a big city, like a little taco place with like this old arcade units everywhere. Mortal Kombat 2,
man, that was beautiful to
Super
see.
Mario Brothers, and there was a girl, busting tables or whatever. And if there was ever some bath water,
busting your balls.
I'm just saying.
If there was ever some bath water,
I would consider it with her. I'm definitely going back. I'm bringing some quarters.
When that became a popular
thing. Going back.
I was gonna say, I didn't know that was like a mainstream thing to where gamer girls would be selling their bathroom.
I didn't know. Is that real?
it's
Is
not.
that a
It's just
joke?
one
It's not.
thing- it's just
That
one-
recently just happened.
Oh.
Well, that's
person.
like that term. That's like some old black man Southern shit right there. That's just like
What you trying to say, boy?
that's what you know, my dad used to say stuff like that. My granddad say stuff like that. That's
Bath
old
water?
shit. Yeah,
My granddaddy
she's so
always did
fine.
that.
I drink her bath water. That's some
Yeah,
old
really.
black man Southern stuff that I would never
Oh,
think.
you drinking out of the tub there. That was the difference.
They would come back or something.
They come back into like gaming girl like
Because
culture. Like
there's this one girl that's selling her bath water. You know, ironically, not doing it like, but apparently it's somehow selling because you know people are. I'm sure people are buying it as a
But
joke, but some
it's
people are
bath
totally
water.
buying it unironically.
yeah.
And
I know who it is.
and
It's the, I think it's the
It's
hit
just
Belle-
it's
or
just
Belle
bath
Del-
water. Even if it's
Here's
yeah,
the thing.
Belle Delfino. Yeah, she got.
But here's
She
the
got
thing.
popular
It
off of Higo face, but that's all.
It can't actually be her bath water because she would get all kinds of like what do you call them from the health department. She'd get all kinds of like I can't think of the word.
is it like soapy
stripes
bath water?
or-
It's like,
T, I think you're already thinking too much.
all right, let's move on.
Well,
Let's,
no,
we
it's
got some
totally
other questions.
not her actual bath.
I know it
water.
is, but I'm saying you've already given it too much attention.
But what I'm saying is like, there's guys that probably think it is her bath water. And
I mean,
like,
no.
What are they gonna
that's
do?
the reason why
Buying it for that.
That's the reason why they bought it. They think it's their bath water.
All right.
Yeah.
Lightning 49 has a good question. Juice and Crew, which game are you excited the most in this year? Excited for, I'm guessing. I'm gonna do 2, so let's just say everybody do 2.
This is such a cop out.
Silk Song and Doom Eternal of the games that haven't come out yet. Mario Maker 2 would be right there with them, but it's already out.
Silk Song.
Silk Song is Hollow Knight sequel.
Hollow
prequel.
Knight
Oh, yeah.
And Doom Eternal. Those are my 2 most.
Guys, too many games. Fuck.
Anybody know their 2 right off the top of their head? Feel free.
Fire Emblem Pokemon.
For me, it's it would have been Animal Crossing.
It's still Animal Crossing. What do you mean?
I know your pain, man.
Here, right? So, Luigi's Mansion 2.
2.
I mean, did I say 2? I mean 3.
Are you drunk?
It's
He
been
had
out
that
for
bath
for a
water.
long time, pal.
He's just taking that bath water, bro. Talk about this shit.
I mean, Luigi Mansion 3.
No, are you sure? Is that your
Well,
final answer?
technically, you're not wrong because Nintendo didn't call Dark Moon 2, so which is weird. I don't know why they do stuff like that.
So why'd you called him out on it?
All right, what's the other
Why'd you-
game?
Probably Link's Awakening because I never played the original.
Ah,
Nice.
I prefer Fire
For
Emblem
games that
personally.
haven't come out yet, for me, it's Link's Awakening and also Sing Song.
wow, interesting.
Say sing song?
Silk Song, I misspoke.
He's drunk. He's drunk, guys. He's drunk.
There's that Link in my head, you know.
Retro, just calm down. It's all right.
You guys, you're killing me with this. Astral Chain and Damon Ex Machina. Those are my tops.
You just want to be a contrarian. Get the fuck out of here, yo.
No, I just
That's
want to
your
talk about
chin-chin.
good game and not all
Oh,
this.
how dare you.
Not as rehash bullshit.
Fucking Zelda
All right.
fanboys in here.
So this is just a straight yes or no. Will Nintendo have a surprise system update?
Wait, I didn't say my games. What's going
Oh,
on? You
clocked it. Come on.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Damn.
Respecting this man.
play Brexit for this shit, man. Fuck.
Get him.
my 4 games. Silk Song, Link's Awakening,
No,
Luigi's
just
Mansion
2.
3, and Astral Chain. No, I can't. Shut up.
What's the top
Okay,
2?
fine. all right.
You gotta follow the rules, pal.
Oh fuck,
Yeah,
I
you know
can't.
he's had one game.
What's the
I
top 2?
can't. That's
Even though your government can't follow the rules, you gotta follow the rules.
Oh, oh my god.
All right. Yes or no answer. No.
Link's Awakening, Astral Chain. There you go.
All right. Will we get a surprise update for the Switch, adding basic features in the
When?
coming months? Yes or no? I say no.
That's a yes.
What?
No.
Even I give it till this time next year, I'll still say no.
I don't think so.
They're not going to put out any type of feature additions for the Switch. And that
Let me
doesn't
give
count
it
adding
a-
Netflix.
I'm gonna say yes.
I think by the end of the life cycle, it'd be interesting to see what it looks like. But I think we're gonna be the same.
We're gonna get some new Pokemon avatars from Pokemon launches, and that's it.
Yeah, that's
That's
about
what
it.
they've given us. We can zoom in into our games, and we can rewind our NES game.
How do you do that again?
I don't even know. I
No,
never even
no
cared to
change.
use it. Doesn't serve
I
a
think it's
purpose.
like L and R or something.
It's so weird. Like, why do you?
All right, I'm gonna save some
Oh,
of
no,
these
you-
questions for next week about Breath of the Wild to what you want to see. That's big. That's a big
I want to see a
question.
video game is what I want to see.
I want to see
Um,
some gaming.
I'll get to Roy's question next week too. So
Well,
Paladin 08, considering the Switch is very popular, do you think Nintendo will keep the Switch name into their next gen console? That's a tough
I
one
hope-
because it didn't work for the Wii U.
Well, they didn't have a lot of Wii in the. It's a problem. So.
I
If
hope
it's
not.
if it's a
They
hybrid,
have
they could
Wii.
they could keep the Switch too. I'd be fine with that. But if it does something crazy, but they just try to keep the Switch name just because it's popular, then I don't know that they would. But if they did, I think they'd learn from the Wii U.
Same thing, but call it something else.
Like,
If it's a hybrid, they can call it Switch 2.
Yeah.
Just don't be clever.
I'm
Switch
gonna
2.
call it Click. I'll call it the Click.
or the Snap. Everyone knows the Snap.
Thanos, you bastard! Sorry.
Every time I
You
start
called the
talking
Wii U and
about-
nunchuck in the console.
Call it the Wii U too.
And would it, if they had a Switch 2 that's just more powerful, in your mind, would the old Joy-Cons have to work on it?
I would.
I mean, I would rather work in reality. Not
At that time, they probably none of the Joy-Cons would be working anymore, so I wouldn't care. But it'd be interesting to see, because I think by the time the next Switch comes out, if it's the same thickness, people go, "Look at this thick, clunky system." Look how thick this thing is, like a toy.
Some people approve of the thick. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying technologies and stuff. If we look, even looking at the Switch and the dock now, to me it doesn't look as sleek as it did in 2017. Like the dock itself,
I think that's pretty.
the dock and
This is
everything
like-
docked. It
This
just
is like scrawny ass systems. That's
it's
what-
really not that appealing to look at, in my opinion, anymore.
But I think it's pretty gorgeous.
Portable play, it looks great, but
This has
just,
gotten weird really quickly.
I like it.
Is
All
it
right.
thick enough for you?
Oh, jeez.
yeah, you're hanging on to. I had no idea what you're talking about.
I'm talking about the console. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Terrell's been feeling a certain way. He's been throwing in these
I
weird,
know, it's 'cause
random
he's playing with
jokes
them damn pink
based
balls.
off of one word. That
Stop playing with them pink balls and puff balls, whatever.
the peach balls.
But okay, see how this just went, but I'm the deviant in this.
You are.
situation. Okay. Of course, it's totally me. Totally.
All right, let's do this last question, and we'll get out of here. I don't have an answer for it because I don't even know the three houses. But what house will you choose in Fire Emblem Three Houses?
The
one with the hot chick.
You what? You mean the only one with a woman?
I think you can recruit everybody to any house. So I don't think
That
it
is a
matters.
feature they have mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the second one is that one.
Whatever one has the wool. Can't remember. I'm all about the
They
wolves,
say
yo.
they say
All right,
you
listen,
can recruit
listen.
anyone, and they say you can recruit everyone in any house. But who says that that does include the leaders of the houses, considering the way there's a story in the game? And
It
I
probably
just like
does
it when
include the leaders.
I just like it when like hot chicks have like giant axes, so and then she has like the crow and everything. It's like there's no contest for me.
Well, I'll pick whoever is the coolest person.
Okay, listen. Let me just say name the names. They're pretty basic. It's the Black Eagle, the Golden
Oh,
Deer,
oh.
and the is it the Blue Lion? I believe.
Of course, you gotta bring.
It's the Lions, man. That's what I. Oh my, yeah, that's right. This is the Blue Lions. 'Cause I was like, if Juice was gonna play this game, he picked that. He picked that house. That's why. Yeah,
I'm gonna get it now.
Yeah. He liked the
What's
Blue
the
Lions,
line?
man.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm Black Eagles. I like the cast of Black Eagles.
Which
Sure.
house has the
I
blue-haired
like the
people?
color of the black.
What, say what?
Which house has the blue-haired people?
The blue hair people.
I've seen
I'm
a couple
just
blue-haired characters in the.
It was an anime game.
I don't
The blue hairs everywhere.
I'm trying to think what house would that? Is that the Golden Deer maybe?
Because they could be Lucina's descendants.
Oh, shut the fuck up! I'm here.
I
can't be no deer, man.
Yeah, you can't be no deer, man. That's a prey animal.
Deer, yeah, exactly. Deers be getting hunted.
Yeah, I'm a lion.
Anybody
Hear me
hunting a
roar.
lion? You stupid as hell.
Eagles, man. Eagles.
The eagles are endangered.
Eagles are a
for a
majestic creature.
I
They're
can't rock
also
with the Eagles
endangered.
because it was a cop out in
What
Lord
the
of the
fuck
Rings.
was that?
I don't know. I
That was impressive.
heard an eagle.
That was the Eagle impression.
I couldn't
Who
do that.
did it?
They were the MacGuffin in Lord of the Rings. So I can't rock with the Eagles. Oh, every time we in trouble, oh, the Eagles are coming. Oh, the Eagles.
Actually, they only showed up at the end for everyone and once for Gandalf in the second
That's a
movie.
plot device, isn't it?
They were in the
Hobbit as
movie
well.
at least twice or 3 times.
Couldn't help themselves.
No, I think you're
Everybody, welcome to
thinking
movie
blending the Hobbit
podcast.
together because they only came at the end.
They only came at the end of Lord of the Rings. I know
Mhm.
that the Return of the King. I know that, but I'm just saying they were MacGuffin.
Yeah, there's a
like my
go-to
McMuffins,
Tolkien
but-
go-to. I don't even know if
they.
I don't even remember if they were in the Hobbit book actually.
What did the Eagles save Gandalf?
I don't
on?
believe so. I haven't read that.
The Eagles are the greatest.
Yeah, the eagle did save Gandalf from the tower.
Yeah,
It's gotten weird.
Anyway, we'll make a podcast around
Oh, we
Surreal's.
can do Miguel's real quick. I like Miguel's.
Everybody's getting the game, so it's going to take another 20 minutes. So
It's like gonna take 20 minutes to pick what character.
To be honest, Deadpool.
yeah,
Robert-
we'll save that for
Robert-
next week.
Robert,
when
that was like one character.
Yeah.
Try.
you'll tell us
Why
what you're
even do
for,
it?
man.
Why even do?
We'll
He
tell
was
us what-
like, I like Wolverine because there's claws in his hands.
So
Come on, the movies are great. So.
I honestly don't know. So
I don't know who the fuck. I don't know who.
yeah,
Wolverine
we'll
is.
this
I
next
like
week we'll just
Logan.
have you guys say who your 4 favorite characters or something. And I'll start the we'll do the Breath of the Wild 2 sequel. We really haven't gotten into like theories and discussions about what we want to see too much, so we'll make that a big part of the podcast unless some major news or something come out.
Switch Pro.
Y'all terrible.
All right, so yeah, thanks for everybody for tuning in. I think Discord seemed to be all right. Some of the audio, we had some people breaking up. I don't know if that's because you're using anybody here using a different device?
No, even you've been breaking up, Juice.
Okay,
Yeah, I think it's just a Discord issue right now.
could be.
Yeah,
But
fucking dude.
never does it during the game nights though. I haven't had any. When we use Discord a lot for when we're playing, and I don't remember any issues. So we'll see moving forward. Maybe we'll go back to Hangouts while it's still there. If the
For another week.
yeah, just for the audio, But I like the Discord or the OBS having the chat full screen and being able to switch back and forth to
Nice. It's very
different
nice.
modes. So yeah, but thanks for everybody for tuning in. And again, if you want to have some discussions and share your Mario Maker levels or just chat with some gamers and get away from not have to worry about troll comments and assholes replying because I have a zero tolerance. Hasn't happened yet. Everyone's been cool. Click on the Discord. If you don't have a Discord, it's a little bit weird at first. Once you get the hang of it, it's pretty cool. So yeah, so thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.